Yeah, you can play your stupid noises, but you already started the podcast and didn't even bother to hit record.
I did hit record. I hit record this time. There's recording happening.
You hit record now, but you were like a minute ago. Man and Wolf, part 6 of 6.
Oh, yeah,
and I was like, Greg, we should record the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
This going down as one of our best openings ever.
Yeah, true, of course. Man and Wolf, part 6 of 6. Yeah, all before we recorded. I was so excited.
Well, I'd like to say we have a cover here. And it's very exciting.
Yes. I feel like we did this cover. We did this before, did we not?
No, we did not.
I feel like we did. Are you sure?
No, we talked about how badly drawn Cable was.
Yeah.
And then we said we're gonna go there next.
Okay. It just maybe it's just my brain wanting me to be done with it.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, so I don't. I think you've said this you said it like 4 times that we've already done this, which is not true.
I've said it every time you've hey, what do you want to record? We did it already, didn't we? No, Greg, we haven't.
Well, remember last issue when Cable was like, "Oh, we're gonna go look for Feral."
Yeah.
Well, now this is called Man and Wolf Part 6 of 6, Cap Wolf versus Cable for some reason, because Cable has been an integral part of the storylines thus far, and in issue 6 of a 6-part storyline, what I wanted was a payoff against somebody who wasn't even in the story.
Yes.
It says, who will be Lord of the Wolves, which I don't know how Cable... I don't think Cable desires to be Lord of the Wolves.
No, Cable does not desire to be with Lord of the Wolves. Not at all.
Now, at this time in Marvel Comics, is it more important to have Cable guest star or more important to have Wolverine guest star? Because they went for both here.
I think it was more important to have Wolverine guest star because of so much Wolverine, so many Wolverine books at the time and Wolverine tie-ins at the time. But I think Cable becoming such a new property and commodity in the Marvel Comics world, that having him in this book was important.
Cable was the new hot thing.
I mean,
everybody thinks it was Deadpool, but that was just not true at the time. Deadpool wasn't popular for like 2 or 3 more years later.
Yeah.
I mean, Deadpool was popular, but Deadpool wasn't Deadpool like now.
No.
It wasn't until that miniseries happened, and then it kind of took off from there.
Yeah, it wasn't until a few years later. Cable was like more, so I think
Cable was it. But I mean, here
I think you gotta have both Wolverine and Cable, because both of them are 2 hot commodities. It's almost like when you've got Schwarzenegger and he's in the movie for like 30 seconds, and then he like high fives The Rock, and then The Rock comes in, and then it's the takeover moment, it's the handoff, it's the baton passing. Well, you're like, no, Greg.
Yeah,
no.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I got distracted by the art again.
It's not bad.
It's terrible. It's an awful. This is what we talked about last week. Yeah. This is like a shitty rendition of Rob Liefeld. So all of a sudden, Rick Levins has now decided to draw like Rob Liefeld instead of the flat, but it's still the flat, weird, like Wolfsbane down in the corner looks
flat,
like feral sort of.
Yeah.
Wolverine looks like a short, fat toad. I'm not really sure. Like,
it's very, I mean, you can see the Danny DeVito right there.
I kind of like the Cap Wolf face, actually.
That is the best Cap Wolf. That's like the one you want the whole entire time you're reading this. This is Cap Wolf.
This is the one you get. And Cable looks like he just came out of a sex dungeon after 4 days.
He's been hanging out with Grimbor.
Yes. He looks just like Grimbor in a way.
I know.
With a sparkly eye.
Sparkly eye.
If you replace those blue padded things for chains, he'd be a perfect Grimbor.
I know. They could hang out.
Yeah, I don't know what sort of weird. I was just thinking, like, it's like this covers like a weird sort of sex fetish thing with lots of hair.
Oh my gosh, you got your. I mean, it is kind of when you think about it.
You know what? I gotta correct myself before we continue.
Yeah.
I always say weird sort of sex fetish,
There's
and I
nothing
don't. I
weird
shouldn't
about
say the
it.
word
It's
weird.
not
We just
weird.
say sex fetish.
Yeah, and there's no shame in the game. You got your furries because you got Cap Wolf, you got Wolverine, you got why can't I think of her name?
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane on the corner, and then you got your I guess Cable's kind of like your he's not really like in leather, but he's kind of like a leather daddy, right?
Yeah.
And then what do you call?
Well,
and then what's in the background? What's that person? What do we?
It's not till the X-Men movie when they make Wolverine into a leather daddy.
Yeah.
But
then,
yeah.
well, I guess, and then who do we have? We got, Moonhunter. What's Moonhunter? Just dress up.
Shitty Lobo? No, he's another wolf. Yeah, it's Shitty Lobo.
That's my thing. I just like being Shitty Lobo.
It's a Shitty Lobo. Yeah, he's clearly the twink.
Pads.
He's clearly the twink in this setup. Like there's no hair under those pads.
I just like the pads.
Yeah, he just wants to be Lobo, but he can't. Well, yeah, this cover is it's a cover.
And also the dialogue on the cover, I had to double take
off
on it.
for face.
I had to read that 4 or 5 times because I thought for a second it was saying stuff I shouldn't see on the cover.
Oh yeah, and you thought he was saying "back off, fuckface." Yeah, and then, but no, that's that's if he was fighting Wolverine though. That's how unoriginal the dialogue is, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
And all of a sudden, like Captain America has been taken over by the X universe for some reason. Apparently, the editors got together and thought,
let's do a massive crossover.
Captain America and Avengers cold, X-Men hot. Let's put them all here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then bring Shitty Lobo in.
For no reason. Well, we go to the first page, and sorry, we're rushing a little bit today. We both have deadlines today. We didn't do as many fun talks today, but I'm sure these fun talks will happen during the podcast. But I guess for those of you that like us to get straight to the issue, I will say our friend Lance, listener of the podcast, and also friend of SummerCon.
Yeah.
And the store, for that matter. But he sent me a message saying he was enjoying reading Cap Wolf and also enjoying listening to us talk and bash it. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's the same with Jason, who Jason Prevet, who had suggested this fine run. He goes, it is terrible. So
yeah, Lance said specifically, I've read the first 2 issues in the series and it's goofy, but I'm having fun so far.
I think say that.
Yeah, I think that's our whole position. It's goofy and we're not having fun. That would be the different part of the position.
I mean, I'm having fun reading it. Why not?
I think you had fun with maybe the first issue or 2, but when it didn't go anywhere,
I have fun watching you react to it, for the most part. But yeah, when there was that lull, and I'm like, man, the B story is much better.
Oh God, no, it's not. So
we'll
it's
get there.
Well, we get to the first page and it looks like shitty Doctor Strange is dead.
Yeah, he dead.
They cut his throat open, so he's got to be dead, right?
Yeah, they took his Powerball out of his neck. Powerball.
Well, they took a Powerball from him, but yeah, he's putting it on the other dude's neck. Captain America is fighting a bunch of other werewolves. Yeah, and it says, then the gem is placed on the throat of Druid's mortal nemesis Dreadman Cromwell.
They were.
And lunacy reigns.
Oh!
And I think if we just take that line right there,
yes,
that represents the entire story. We have good news for you listeners, by the way. This is a little bit of a spoiler.
What's that?
Well, we're going to cover 407 and 408 today.
Double.
Because this stupid storyline doesn't actually end in 6 issues.
No, it doesn't.
for some reason.
Yeah.
It promised us 6 issues.
6 issues, but we go to 7. It feels
well,
like
anyway,
it feels like a like a letdown, but also a put up.
Yep. Well, it is a put up. It is not a letdown because on the next page, Starboy makes an appearance.
Whoa. That's what I thought when I saw this. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, it's the greatest day ever. We're now reading Legion of Superhero comics with my favorite character,
Starwolf. Because that's
unfortunately,
a great costume.
yeah, it is a great rip-off. I mean, costume. We flip to the next page, and Doc Dreadmond puts on the magic sphere, and he changes into a giant Starboy wolf.
He's Starboy Wolf, Lord of the Wolves. Watch out!
And he basically has Starboy's costume and Starboy's facial hair.
Yeah.
But in a werewolf, and to differentiate the costume, they went ahead and colored some of the stars instead of making them all white.
Right.
Because they wouldn't want to just completely exactly rip off another costume or anything.
If you had a costume like that made, would you wear that to a convention, Dan?
The wolf one or the Starboy costume?
No, like you could be both. Two things.
I would.
You would wear it? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Right?
Let me keep dropping weight here so I can have the abs to go into it. But yes, I will. I would absolutely do that.
We'll get you the big wolf head.
No, I don't want the wolf part. I just want to be Starboy.
No, we'll get you the Starboy costume and the wolf. We'll make you the 2 things. Listeners, if you like the idea, please let us know. That way we can set up a.
You cannot make the stars all those weird colors though. They just need to be white.
Yeah, we can do it. Anything can happen.
Okay. And I'll just go around as Starboy then and not wear the wolf top. It's settled. So, Starwolf makes a lot of pronouncements.
Yes.
He says, "Let mankind beware. And the energies of the stone, blah, blah, blah. Tribune to the entity, blah, blah, blah. God and man, beast in one, blah, blah, blah. He's no longer Dreadmond.
Huh.
He says, I am Dreadmond no more, in fact. He is now Star Wolf. So
2 of my favorite radio stations here in Seattle, the Star and the Wolf put together.
And the Wolf put together. Well, then he says, gaze upon me, Captain America. Surely in your lupine state, you can sense the sheer animalistic energy emanating from my new form. Now, how many children throughout these issues ran to the dictionary to look up lupine?
Oh man, I would, and then I would think oh my gosh, he needs to go see a doctor. He's very sick.
He's Dr. Lupine.
He's Dr. Lupine. He's got a disease. Because I would have.
Well, Captain America's got some dialogue finally, some inner dialogue. Yes, feel great power about him, but cannot let that deter me. He is menace, must be brought down. So, we're back. Yeah, it's good. All right, it's good.
Yes, it's
Just
good.
keep saying that, Dan. It's good.
Yes, it's good. It's great. And you gotta love the Cap Wolf design too, with the wolf legs and everything like that, and the weird wolfy ankles, but the big buff legs, and it's fantastic.
It's really disproportionate. It is like he's copying Liefeld completely. Everything's disproportionate. The feet look like shit. Well, anyway, we flip the page and Cap Wolf attacks Starwolf, and he's like, Starwolf's like, you're nothing. I'm the ultimate man wolf. I guess that's what we were aspiring to the whole time.
He's the Sigma, no Cap. For real.
Yeah, he's the Alpha.
He's the Alpha, Omega. I
don't think he's the Sigma.
It's what the kids say. You got no Riz.
I think he's 6 Sigma.
He's 6 Sigma.
Yeah, he's top 0.00333% or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know what 6 Sigma means anymore. I have to look it back up. It's like I know it's 6 Sigma from the mean. I was just trying to remember what the percentage was. It's okay.
Of what the breakdown is to
welcome to Business Forecasting Cast.
Hi, how's it going? Yeah. My name is Greg, and this is my compatriot Dan. We are going to talk to you about the finer points of being business role models in this great day and age. Dan?
Yeah, in fact, we'll talk about the accuracy of manufacturing and manufacturing of certain parts for certain items that now I have to stop talking.
We stop. Go back to the comic book, Dan. Go back. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that the Dr. Desmond has turned into a Star Wolf. Oh my gosh. It's like, wow. Oh,
that was a hard transition.
We're laughing.
We're
laughing.
Well, Doctor, it looks like, let's see, we've got Doctor Shitty Doctor Dead Strange.
Dr. Dead Strange is peeing in a bucket. It looks like
I think he's bleeding from his neck, but the art's kind of bad, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Well, and now now Star Wolf's talking about his congregation.
Oh man, mega church.
Then we get another page of Star Wolf talking. You know, like when you watch wrestling and then like somebody just comes out and talks for like 45 straight minutes.
Yeah,
and you don't care.
And you just want to get to the match.
It's not somebody you've ever seen or heard of before.
I'm coming from parts unknown, and let me tell you about this thing that you don't care about. Just get in the ring, dude. Just get in the ring. Hold on.
Yeah. Well, now we've got some spilled blood and glory and something else. And Captain America, Cap Wolf is like, groggy, but must move. Effort exhausting. Need time. Clear head. Rest. Hurt. Muscles. That's me after moving all my comic books yesterday. Rest. Hurt. Muscles.
I know. You moved them from like one end of the house to the other end of the house, downstairs, everything.
Y'all,
you don't even know
if you're
people.
listening, I know it's not today, as in today, but I moved over 50 long boxes of comic books by myself downstairs yesterday.
That's nuts.
Let's just say I didn't need a extra bicep workout. So Cap continues to say, must face, cannot let them. What? Hurling toward me, shiny disc, my shield.
Wow.
I have no idea what's happening in this comic book. Can you catch me up?
Cap Wolf is kind of regaining that sense of sensibility, if you will, and he realizes that, oh boy, things are not great. I better stop this Star Wolf from Star Wolfing, because he's gonna create a congregation of these weaker wolves who don't know anything and are easily swayed to his powers, because he's so he's got to fight him off.
Because he's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
Because he's a motherfucking Star Wolf.
Yeah. Star Wolf.
I'm not gonna try to sing the song. So I just don't understand how you could have a song called Starboy and not get sued by DC Comics. Just saying.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, all the other werewolves come to help out, and Cap Wolf thinks, wolves from pit that I led to freedom, prepared to help me battle to ensure their liberty against one who oppressed them.
Nope.
Oh, jeez. Okay, well, now they're all attacking the Starry Wolf.
Yeah.
And it looks like they dogpile him.
Yeah, that's what wolves do. They dogpile. And then they dog paddle him. They get their paddles out, and they hit him with their little paddles.
Oh, they don't dogpile him. They're beating up the other werewolves.
Yeah, werewolf fight.
Oh. Well, Cap thinks, wolves from pit will occupy Star Wolf's followers. I see if Druid still live.
Is Druid live? No, Druid not live.
Okay, well, Cable shoots Feral with the dart because she shows up where the werewolves are. I'm not sure why the cat was showing up there, but that's okay.
I don't know.
And he's like, not like you to run away from. Were they reading X-Force? Because wasn't she like a traitor right around this time?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure they got their storylines a little crossed up, because that's what they do. We've read other comic books that have crossed over and stuff, and we're like, why are these storylines not matching up? Why, because obviously the people writing the stuff together don't necessarily always have that conversation.
Oh, they did not reveal that she was a traitor until December of 1994. So
early on, this is early. This is
2 years before.
So sorry, everybody. We know the future. We know the future.
She was such a waste of a character that when she became a traitor, it was kind of like, Okay.
Oh, all right. You're a traitor. Cool. Don't need you.
Good. Does that mean you're gone? Yeah.
That's like when you're collecting Pokemon while you're playing Pokemon Go, and it's just like you just got all the same things, and it's like, don't need it. Sorry.
Well, Starry Wolf, on that note, things we don't need.
Yes.
Starry Wolf is telling his followers to kill them.
Kill them.
And Captain gets to Dr. Strange and
Yes.
goes, Druid's throat slit, but not bleeding anymore. Blood all drip out. Or he hold it in somehow. Oh, shit.
Oh, Dr. Jude, you always have a card up your sleeve, don't you? You sneaky scamp.
We were really watching all the blood drip out, though, in all these scenes. This is such BS.
You know what's funny?
Like, he literally died. He died on panel.
Dan?
This wasn't an off-panel death. This is like blood dripping from his neck, and now we're going to have to get this stupid character back. I can feel it.
I told you it wasn't just a bucket of blood. It was a bucket of pee. So Dr. Druid didn't just bleed into that bucket. It was also filled with his own urine, and that's why it's not all his blood.
Well, Starry Wolf says he's dead, Captain. You have failed.
Well, I mean, dead is relative. I mean, people die all the time and come back to life. Like, I mean, you know.
Well, then Cable shows up and shoots at a light instead of just hitting the Star Wolf, which would have made a lot more sense. But so he can announce himself and say who's afraid of the big bad wolf. Josh Brolin didn't read this comic, otherwise he wouldn't have played the character.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. So it's I definitely didn't read this comic. I was collecting most of these at the time. I was collecting most of the X-Men appearances at this time, was I not? And did not pick these up.
True. But these are fantastic and great. You should have, because these are the best around.
Or maybe I just looked at it and was like, that's dumb.
Why would I get this? I don't know.
We used to go look at all the comics on the rack.
Yeah.
I mean, not the rack, I mean in the store, but like they were all displayed, so we would have seen this, right?
Yeah, we would have seen it, and it probably would have been one of those like, do we want to buy what? That's
Do I have enough money for this?
That's the decision. It's like, do we want to buy that, or do we want to not buy that and buy something else? It's like, do we want to buy the new comic, or do we want to buy the cheap comics and then go get something to eat? That's always the deciding factor.
Well,
Taco
Cable
Bell was
in all of
25
his
cents at the time.
yeah, that's true. Well, those little Taco Bell things. Yeah. Well, Cable is just shooting randomly into the crowd now. And so Cap Wolf hits him with his shield and breaks his stupid gun. I never understood Cable having a gun, honestly, but that's okay.
Because, I mean
well, the answer was like he had to use his telepathy or his telekinesis to control the techno-organic virus so it wouldn't expand, right?
Yeah.
So that made his telekinesis weaker than his mom's.
Yeah. But having guns...
he could still use it.
Yeah. But guns are cool, dude. We live in America.
So are those shoulder pads that are a different color than they were on the cover.
And it's kind of cool. It's like a big puffer vest.
I want
it.
Cable just doesn't hold up well historically. Like, he's one of those characters that was super cool at the time that people really liked, but then I mean, well, we know it's not fair because we know the outcome, right? Deadpool becomes the famous character out of that group, right? And Cable's famous too, but it's different. I mean, Cable showed up in X-Men 97.
Yeah.
It was okay.
I mean,
he wasn't shooting people, though.
He ended up in the Deadpool movie.
Well, that was cool, but it was more of like a joke. He wasn't the lead in the Deadpool movie, though. Like, Cable was the lead in all these stories, right? Cable takes the New Mutants and reforms them, make as X-Force, right? And now when you get to the Deadpool movie, all the 30 years later, Deadpool is the lead and Cable is the backup.
I think what you're missing though is like what you're really missing is that as a child that grew up in the 80s, we knew that when the first thing that you know as a child of the 80s growing up is that when you turn on a television, when you're using an antenna, you only get 3 channels, but you know that cable is the future.
3 channels? I got 5 channels.
Okay, well, cable is the future.
No, I got 6 channels.
Well, good for you. You didn't have
Eventually.
to stand on the roof and hold the antenna right way.
I did so.
Okay, well...
I started off with 5 channels. I got channel 4, channel 5, channel 7, channel 11, because that's what the Mariners used to be on.
and channel 13.
Channel 22.
Channel 22.
Channel 13 came after channel 22. So if you've not seen Weird Al's UHF, that's basically what channel 22 was.
Yeah.
All Godzilla and monster movies were on there. It was fantastic. Well, anyway, I think didn't channel 22 eventually become like the WB?
Most likely. And then, yeah, like, it's always funny to have to see on
or
the...
Paramount or whatever it was.
A lot of like you can as the
11 was Paramount.
As things have turned into the digital channels, they've rebranded all those old channels and they've popped back up as, hey, we're this channel now, and I'm like, that's the old call sign for those old channels, and I'm like, oh, it's so interesting because my grandma will watch them. She's like, oh, I remember this channel. I'm like,
oh yeah, my mom watches them too.
I'm like, this is very. This reminds me of the little black and white 13-inch TV.
Well,
Anyways,
Capwolf
says,
after seeing Cable, he goes, "Seen pictures of this man, named Cable, heads Mutant Team X-Force. What he doing here? What he doing here?
Hey, dude.
Oh, hey, I see Super Baby is back again. Me see bad man.
So Batman.
Me see bad man.
Batman.
Bad. Well, now Capwolf starts attacking him after just saying he doesn't know what he sees. Not shoot, make things worse. Captain America is against guns.
Yeah, it doesn't like guns. Well, I mean, he doesn't like guns in this situation because
didn't he fight in a war?
Well, yeah, of course, but like in this situation, because all the wolves are not bad, so he doesn't want Cable to shoot all the wolves because he's afraid.
Sure,
of them.
He does.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know.
Cable can't kill the werewolves with his bullets. He doesn't have a supply of silver bullets. He has to hook up. He has to hook up with like Night Moon.
Moon Knight, yeah. What if the bullet? What if the
Moon Ranger?
What if the werewolves
Shadow
turn
Moon?
back into
What's that guy's name? What's Shitty Lobo's name again?
Moon Hunter. What if
Hunter Moon?
What if the werewolves turn back into regular people and they're like regular people and they get shot? Would they die or would they have to be shot with?
They'll be fine.
Bullet?
The werewolf powers heal all their wounds. Have you not watched any werewolf movies back in the day?
Asking because
we're talking the Channel 22 werewolf movies.
I'm asking for a friend that might be a werewolf.
Your friend should know that if you get shot in werewolf form, you just got to pop the bullets out like a beast.
Okay.
And you'll be fine.
So if you turn into a werewolf and you're running around the neighborhood with your clothes on before you're a werewolf, will you end up with no clothes on after you're a werewolf?
Well, that depends on how big your body gets as a werewolf. Next.
Well, I've seen the game where the guy turns into a werewolf.
It's going on too long. I've lost interest.
But have the listeners. That's the real question, Dan. Now, going back to Capwolf.
So Starry Wolf decides he's got to subdue both of these folks, and so he waves his starry hand, and some green swirls come around him.
And he's going to dress them up in clothes so he can find out if they turn into wolves at night, and then they're...
Well, he wraps them in a magic carpet, and Cable says, whose mutant power is it to control carpets? I believe that would be yours, dumbass.
Right?
Like, couldn't Cable just use his telekinesis to move the carpet back?
He could. He could totally.
Well, anyway,
do it.
Now Captain America and Cable are wrapped in a carpet. Wolves are all fighting, and Starry Wolf is all excited. And then we find Nightshade, Dr. Nightshade, formerly Nightshade, Queen of the Werewolves.
Queen of the Werewolves!
In her weird costume. I'm not sure how her spiky shoulder pads are staying on while she's hooked on that bed like that. That's got to be uncomfortable.
That would be so uncomfortable because they're like so big, and your arms and your shoulders. Well, your shoulders wouldn't be comfortable. It would hurt. It's like it would be so painful.
Well, White Wolf guy is carrying shitty Doctor Strange and puts him on a bed, and he's ignoring her, except then he takes the werewolf serum and he stabs her with it, so she'll become a werewolf. And then now he says you have to find an antidote. Ah, I see. He tricked her.
Oh. Yeah.
I think she had an antidote all along because well, anyway.
And now it's like, you don't want to be the monster.
Oh, we go back to the church and we find out that Starry Wolf's power is all nature bends to his will.
Whoa!
Okay.
So
it's because he's a druid, Starry Wolf. Couldn't he just do that as a druid?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of one of your power spells.
Makes sense, right? Yeah. I mean, but cool. You want to be... He wants to be like, he's dual classing, right? So...
Well, anyway, we go elsewhere on the next page, and Moonhunter without his padding or his mask, who just looks like a dude.
Yeah.
I mean, literally just looks like a dude.
Just
in
a
silvery.
Dude.
He looks like, actually, it's if the Silver Surfer took his mask off. The Silver Surfer doesn't have a mask.
It's Ronald Reagan. I said that before, but it doesn't go.
A Silver Surfer is Ronald Reagan. Oh my God.
That, yeah.
We knew it all along. Can you imagine like a Ronald Reagan spaghetti western Silver Surfer? Yeah, you can't see. Like it was so good. You're like, no.
No, I'm not even gonna bring it up. Anyways.
Well, anyway,
I'm not going down that rabbit hole with you, Dan. You're trying to think. Like,
yeah. Next page. The Wolverine is now with Shitty Lobo, and I don't even know. With Wolverine's hanging out with Dude in Silver.
Yeah.
And
there's the White Wolf. Show me the White Wolf.
And then my worst nightmare happens on the page. Shitty Doctor Strange wakes up.
Hey everybody, want waffles? I'm awake.
God. And his neck is magically healed.
Oh my gosh. Well, he's got the power.
We go back to the church, and Starry Wolf is talking again. He's now cutting another promo. I've won. Captain America and the Bionic Interloper have been crushed.
Oh boy.
All right. And now they're like, you're going to kill them all. Okay, I win. Haha. Oh, and he goes to the next page, and he's still talking. And he's still talking. And then he's like, uh-oh, who let Wolverine out? That's not good.
Oh, no.
And then Wolverine goes over and cuts the carpet off of Cable and Captain America Wolf. Because the only thing you really need to do to defeat the two of them is wrap them in carpet.
Yeah. Wrap them up in a green carpet. Because that's what they don't like.
I didn't know that was like a werewolf.
Yeah, werewolf repellent.
I didn't know people with telekinesis and werewolves were like their greatest nemesis was carpet.
It's their biggest fear.
Well, anyway, I don't know like what's happening here, but Starwolf gets attacked by Capwolf, and he starts yelling, "Impossible! You should be dead! Like, you didn't kill him. You just wrapped him in carpet.
Like carpet would kill him. Ah.
Like why? What made you think he was dead? Now, if he was saying that to shitty Doctor Strange, that would be a whole different thing. That dude should be dead. He had his throat cut, and he bled all over the ground.
Right.
But okay. Anyway, Capwolf grabs the moon gem, and he says, "Feels like electricity numbing my fingertips. Can't let go or won't have another chance. Hold on. Blank out. The pain. Don't let go. Gem stopped blasting. Dreadment went limp. Moon gem coming free." So I guess that's going to be the end of Starry Wolf.
No.
And it is. Somehow Cable ends up with the moon gem. Shitty Lobo is talking, and I don't care. And Dr. Druid is alive again.
It just all happens, man. It's wild.
And they talk for a second. And Wolverine's like, "I like your new look, Cap. You should keep it." And then that's the end.
The end.
It doesn't end. He's still Capwolf.
Right.
All right. That was great. Well, we go to the next story here. Stan Lee presents Diamondback, our favorite supervillain heroine. And she's there with Crossbones. And they're there meeting with Red Skull. And I don't know how all these folks got together. I don't think we mentioned the credits for the first story at all. I probably should do that. The credits for the first story were Gruenwald, Rick Levins, Danny Bulanadi, Gina Going on colors, Joe Rosen on letters, and Ralph Macchio, the editor. And on this story, we've got Mark Gruenwald again writing, Larry Alexander is the penciler, which I would say the pencils get slightly better. Ariane Lenshoek, who's just known as Ariane, I think, in these, is the ink. Actually, this says, that's not correct. I've got a website that says one thing, but I've got the actual credits that say Rodney Ramos was the inker, a letterer Steve Dutro, and Scott Marshall on colors. So here we go. And apparently, the good thing here that we find out is that the Red Skull has this huge Rocky Mountain retreat. And it's pretty clear that he's hanging out with Coors Beer. So Coors Beer, the sponsor of Nazis and supporter of Hitler here, it makes sense. So Rocky Mountain Fortress. Greg, I was just sharing with the audience. It's really important that Red Skull is in the Rocky Mountains because he's drinking a lot of Coors Beer, and we all know about Coors Beer supporting the Nazis and supporting Hitler. So it totally makes sense that he would have a. And is that Lauren Boebert probably is out there too, right?
Probably.
With him. Probably. They're all hanging out together, MAGA hats and stuff. So anyway, the really crappy Batman and the crappy Hobgoblin and whoever and the brother of Diamondback capture them all, and they bring them in. And he's all worried because he says, "Yes, now that I get to look at her unmasked face, I do, beyond all doubt, Diamondback is my baby sister, Rachel. Now what do I do?"
What does he do?
I don't know. Maybe you take off that stupid cloak. Yeah. Hood. I don't know. Well, anyway, they remove Crossbones. They remove Crossbones' handcuffs, and he just is like telling Red Skull he wants his job back. So all this was a play to get his job back. I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's using it as a, he's adding to his resume, if you will. Hey, I'll bring you a secondary henchman plus all this Captain America blood, and that's the bonus that I'm giving you. And then, hey, look what I did. That just adds to what I can do. Check that out. That's pretty cool. I'm a good guy. You don't need these two other guys because I brought someone else like me already. I worked for you. I'm a good dude.
Well, Red Skull and Crossbones get into a fight with each other, and then they're talking about the blood that was in the backpack because they've stolen Captain America's super high-grade steroid blood. And then shitty Hobgoblin throws... Do you remember this guy's name? Is he the Pumpkinhead?
I don't know. I don't think they gave him a name.
He's got a name. They gave him a name at some point. Remember, they all announced themselves. They were like, I'm so-and-so, and I'm so-and-so too. His name is the Jack-O-Lantern.
Jack-O-Lantern, yeah. Okay.
Not to be confused with the Jack-O-Lantern that murders all of the other... That murders, like, a bunch of people in the Justice League League books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Jack-O-Lantern there, he was part of the Global Guardians in the Super Friends, and then well, anyway, this Jack-O-Lantern is also a bad guy, and then the other dude, what's his name? Cutthroat? Is that his name? Cutthroat?
I believe so, yeah.
He starts beating up Jack-O-Lantern for throwing Diamond back because it's his sister, and then
but nobody knows
Blackwing, otherwise known as Shitty Batman, steps in.
Hey! Yeah.
And it's all good. So that's happening. We have some dog interruptions, apparently.
Your dogs are barking. They're like, hey, what's up? Wow, wow, wow.
I get barely, yeah. Well, they hate the story, too. So then we run into Mother Night again, and...
Oh, Mother Night.
They're talking about Cutthroat reveals to her that that's his sister, and then
she's like, "Oh, your sister.
You want to cover?"
Yeah, she's like, "Wait, your sister?" And he's like, "Yeah, my sister." And then, like later that night, he decides he's gonna sneak into his sister's cell. And he's like, "Hey, can I come in?" And she's like, do I have a choice?" And he's like, "It's me." And she's like, "Wait, Danny?" "Yeah, it's Danny." And then he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm a terrible person. I left after our brother died. I'm no good, I really messed up. Can you forgive me?" type thing. And I just want you to forgive me. And that's how it ends. Will Diamondback forgive Cutthroat, a.k.a. her bad brother, Danny? We will find out, hopefully soon, because I don't think there's very much more of the story left. I mean, it's running very low. It's almost over. It's almost done. It's what it is. But it's a big reveal to her because she thought he's been gone and dead all this time.
All right, Greg, so thanks for covering the end of the issue there where the dogs had escaped to another yard for some reason and escaped to the outside. I'm not sure what was going on. I'm glad I heard them barking. At least one dog escaped. The other one was barking at the other dog to come back. But yeah, I mean, the storyline with was not so great with Diamondback. Yeah. I don't understand the purpose of it, but now the Red Skull seemingly has some blood.
Yeah,
of Captain America.
Yeah.
The steroid blood.
He's good to go now.
Very exciting.
He can grow some skin over his robot face. I mean, what his Red Skull? I don't know what he's gonna do.
Well, that brings us to 408, where an Infinity War crossover, the final fate of Capwolf.
The final fate of Capwolf. What are we gonna get here?
Well, we get I think that Rick Levins was this still Rick Levins drawing?
Are you recording? I'm just joking.
You're funny.
For people not paying attention,
yeah.
Dan did half an episode where he didn't record himself. He pulled a Greg.
Half an episode. We did 3 minutes where I didn't record myself.
That's
anyway.
Half an episode for some people. They don't listen to the whole thing.
So it's also one of those things you didn't even have to bring up, but then you do. So now we're here, and now I'm irritated. So I was just trying to get through this terrible story. 408. Yes, Computo took some of the audio down. It did happen.
I'm the worst.
You know what the best is? When I show up like that little girl in the Legion story with the red eyes and I start destroying all your stuff.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this is an Infinity War crossover, and we've got Capwolf, still drawn by Rick Levins and inked by Danny Bulanadi, with now a completely different face than Capwolf had last issue.
Yeah, no, this is totally different. This is like...
the inconsistency of the art. Like, you may like some of the art on certain pages, but it's so inconsistent. And then we've got Buzzsaw Captain America fighting him. Okay, we get to the first page, and we've got, on this book, it's Mark Gruenwald, Rick Levins, Danny Bulanadi again, George Roussos on colors, Joe Rosen on letters. It says we've got 3 editors now because we needed some more editors. And in this one, we actually get some editor's notes. So it's there we go. We've got,
so we know what's going on. Oh my!
Rockwitz editing, Ralph Macchio editing still, and Tom DeFalco, Destroyer of Spider-Man, on edits. So is the group editor. So anyway, all right. Well, we get a bunch of exposition on the first page talking about the last couple issues. Shitty Doctor Strange is alive again. Capwolf's carrying Dr. Dreadman. Nightshade's about to heal the big white wolf. And Ronald Reagan Moon Hunter is standing back in the corner. And then we get to the next page, and we find out that shitty Doctor Strange managed to seal his throat. Even though we saw him bleeding out and die on the page.
He like had a Band-Aid or something like that, or he used a stitching thing, or was he like...
It's through his sheer source of... It's just will.
He had a healing stone.
He's Magneto.
What? He pulled all the iron and tightened it all up and then made it all tight right there so he couldn't bleed? That's awesome. That would be so cool.
That is what happened.
Actually, that would be that.
Cable's nowhere to be found. Wolverine's nowhere to be found.
They just ducked
Wolfsbane is nowhere to be found. I guess they just all ducked out.
All the X people.
Yeah, all the X people are now gone. I think the editors of the X books were like, yeah, they cannot be in another issue. That's done. We're done.
Thank you. We're gone.
And now we're curing some lycanthropy, and apparently the Queen of the Werewolves is mad at the White Wolf because she exacts extra pain on him with this cure somehow. And it's John Jameson.
What?
Oh, naked John Jameson. That's exciting.
Oh my.
So you were correct, like about the clothing thing. I guess you don't.
You don't. If you turn into a wolf and you're wearing clothes and your clothes disappear, you get torn up or whatever. You don't have clothes when you come back.
Yeah, and apparently Captain America, Cap Wolf, has found one of Captain America's friends.
I don't know if that's one of his friends. Oh! You're talking about John. John.
Yeah,
yes.
Remember one of his friends he lost.
Yes.
Yeah, he keeps losing his friends. Like the wrestler. What happened to that dude? We didn't even talk about him in the whole issue.
Like two issues, 3 issues.
And Diamondback is off being captured by her brother and the Red Skull somewhere. His friends are... Well, anyway, now John's standing over and says, don't pull anything with Cap. And then Buzzsaw Cap comes out.
What? That's like crazy.
Captain America with a spiky shield, and he looks kind of like a vampire. I don't know.
He's a very intimidating Captain America.
I don't know where he's coming from, but it says he's come for Captain America.
I've come for you,
but Captain America is not there. So, well, anyway,
you're gonna get Cap Wolf.
Well, Cap Wolf and Starburst Buzzsaw Captain are fighting each other.
It's a mess. The only way to tell them apart is like the darkness of their costumes. One costume is very light and one costume is very dark. I can't tell the difference between the two because they're so similar.
Well, one has a big weird
No!
buzzsaw star, and one has a regular star. But anyway, Captain America is stressing out because he's changing back to Captain America, to Steve Rogers from his werewolf, Capwolf form.
Yeah.
And this other guy's going on, every human being a dark side, Captain, even you, and I shall prevail. So apparently the bad Captain America carries around a buzzsaw shield with a weird falcon stuff around him.
Okay. So he's bad Cap.
And he changes into Cap, and then he accidentally shoves bad Captain America onto his buzzsaw shield and murders him.
Oh no.
And
Skibbity.
yeah, that's not so good. And then he disappears.
Cap just killed him. He killed his bad version.
And then it says, hands up to those of you who have figured out this evil twin is a refugee from the Infinity War. You know what? At least we get some editor's notes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Why? We get them after we're done reading these stories, but...
Wild.
And then the Queen of the Werewolves, Nightshade, is like, oh, you spilled all my antidote, you doofus, while you were fighting. And then there's a whole city of people out there that used to be werewolves. And they've all been transformed back. And apparently, I don't know. That's the end, right?
I think so, yeah. It's,
she's like, she's still claiming she was mind controlled and wasn't a willing accomplishment. And he's like, that's for the courts to decide, because this is America. And as we all know, the courts of this land are idyllic and always make the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Danny DeVito's on the next page.
Whoa. Yeah, he is. That's Danny DeVito is the mayor of Starksboro.
And I came out blasted.
Yeah. And also, we find out that didn't know because I'm dumb, but we meet Jack Russell again.
Oh, Jack Russell.
Who's also known as a pretty famous character and completely another person randomly that shows up in the story. You might have heard of Werewolf by Night.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And he's like barely even, it's just, that's another annoying thing about the story. It's just like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
And he rides off sitting in the word position I shouldn't say with another dude. And he's like, bye, here's my ride. So.
Yeah. Just takes off on a motorcycle. Vroom! Gotta go.
And then Wolfsbane is back.
Oh, I thought she was gone.
Yeah, and then we get some talking, and then John's leaving again. He's resigning as pilot effective immediately. He didn't want to become a superhero.
Huh?
He applied to be his pilot because he wanted to be a better person. He lost his confidence and stuff.
Oh, no.
And then Dreadman contacted him, I guess, and sent me after the Moon Gem. I jumped at the chance, seeing it as my last-ditch attempt to become the hero I once was. And he got in way over his head. You know, it would have been nice to know this during the story.
Right. That would have been very, very good for us to understand his motivation.
And Cap loses another one of his friends.
Forever.
And he says, you're always welcome to be part of the Avengers. And then Captain America he's like, I finally found my pilot, and then I lose him.
Right.
And then they're trying to find Moon Hunter. And he's flying off on his shitty Lobo cycle without all of his padding.
Yeah, he looks bad.
And he just leaves. Apparently he's not on trial for all the shit he did.
Yeah, right? He did some bad stuff. He should be. He's got something in tow. Has he got people with him on his... Who's on his bike?
I don't know. Well, then we get to Central Park, and there's the wrestler. And, like, a goofy-looking version of Wolverine is fighting with him. And throws him in the water. And he's not been good with water, so it's to be continued.
Wait, is that bad Wolverine? Is that evil? Is that what he said?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
He's probably a denizen of the Infinite War.
Yeah. To be continued.
And then we don't really need to do the Diamondback story, but I'll give everybody just a brief summary.
All right, let's do it. We got to find out what happens. This might be the end of it, right?
Yeah. We find out that Diamondback's brother knows who she is, and then he tells her. And then he goes in to smooch with that other lady, and then Crossbones murders him.
Oh, man.
And there's, like, blood everywhere and stuff. And then he says, anyone got a tourniquet, cutthroat got his throat cut. There's just a lot of throat cutting that goes on in these stories.
Yeah.
So he's probably alive.
You think that Cutthroat is alive?
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
And then they introduce the new Falcon.
Hey.
All right, but yeah, okay, cool. Don't know why this wasn't a 7-part story, since this was clearly part of the 6-part story.
Right.
But it was here. What did you think of the Capwolf saga there, Greg?
Oh my gosh, it was so fantastic. I couldn't put it down. I'm so glad that we read it. Now I feel much better. I feel like a complete person. I'm whole. Now I understand how Cap could be a wolf, but feel and grow as a person, knowing the trials and tribulations of being a wolf, coming from a community of wolfen people such as those in Stars Hollow. I mean, whatever the place that they were in was much like Stars Hollow, where Rory would go to Luke's and get coffee in the morning with her mom, Lorelai. I feel that it was a fun read, great artwork. I'm waiting for you to just be like, shut up.
Yeah, no, that's about it. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Yeah, it was not great. But the good news is we'll be back soon.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Barkham Asylum, I believe.
Barkham Asylum. Yes.
And when we do come back with that, we'll be right here with you. So we're gonna read a kid's graphic novel about pets in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Who knows?
Who wrote that? Somebody you know?
Yehudi Mercado.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to plug right now besides the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street and yeah?
So Kenrick Reagan's Supernatural Baby Detective book number 2 is coming out it'll be out on Kickstarter as this is posted, so go check that out. Supernatural Baby Detective. It's a fun read.
Kenrick Lamar?
I said Kenrick Reagan.
Kenrick Reagan?
Yeah, Reagan.
Like the president's son or something?
No.
Is this Moonhunter's son?
Yes, this Moonhunter's son has written a comic book about
a comic book?
Yeah, about a baby detective.
Dead babies?
Supernatural baby detective, which
he writes a whole book about dead babies?
Yeah. The baby. It's a dead detective. It comes back as a baby.
What? I thought you were talking about dead babies.
No. It's a baby that's a supernatural.
Those weird animal mask people that were in the first issue might kill babies.
Yeah, they want to. They truly do. So, gotta watch out for that. So.
Well, that'll be up. You can go check that out, we'll post a link or something probably.
Yeah, something.
And then
you can just check out my socials. I'll be posting about it. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And of course, jiu-jitsu lawyer Paul Boudreau. You could go check out his stuff.
Yeah.
At Certified Martial Arts in Tacoma. / University Place on 27th and Jackson / Bridgeport. That's a lot of slashes there.
A lot.
Because, well, each city has its own street names. It's kind of weird. But anyway, that happens. And we're pretty much done talking, because that was Captain America 407 and 408 in the end of the Capwolf saga, until they decided to relaunch Capwolf again later. Greg's trying to distract me with false teeth. And we will probably wrap this one up. So we really appreciate you. We hope you had fun with this, and we're off to even more fun.
Yay! More fun!
More fun. And we'll chat with you soon.
All right. Button. Son of a button. Ah!